Most people don't check under their bed anymore, not because they're not afraid, but because they've learned to ignore it. My chest tightens when I think about it, because fear doesn't disappear. It just waits. You tell yourself it's childish, that there's nothing there, that you're alone. And most nights, you're right. But not every night. Some nights, something is there, not moving, not making noise, just waiting for you to look. That's the mistake. Because the moment you check, the moment you try to prove it's not real, you give it exactly what it needs. Attention. And once something knows you're looking, it doesn't hide anymore. Tonight, you're going to hear 3 stories, different people, same mistake. They all looked under the bed, and in that moment, something started looking back. It started with a sound, soft, almost nothing. My chest tightens when I think about it, because it wasn't loud enough to wake him, just enough to pull him out of sleep. Ethan opened his eyes slowly. Dark room, silent, everything normal. At least, that's what it looked like. He stayed still, listening, trying to understand what woke him up. Seconds passed, nothing. Just that quiet, empty stillness. He exhaled slightly, almost relaxed. Then it happened again. A faint movement, not in the room, not above him, under. His chest tightened instantly, because that's not a place where sound should come from, not like that. Not at night. He didn't move, didn't sit up, just listened, waiting for it to stop, waiting for it to make sense. But it didn't. And in that moment, something became undeniable. The sound wasn't random. It was coming from under the bed. He stayed still, completely. My chest tightens when I think about it, because ignoring it feels safer than confirming it. Ethan pulled the blanket closer, covering himself, like that could create distance, like that could make it stop. The room stayed dark, silent, normal, except for that feeling, that subtle pressure, like something was there, not moving, not leaving, just present. He closed his eyes, tried to go back to sleep, and tried to convince himself it was nothing. The house, settling, pipes, anything explainable. Then, another sound. Closer this time, not loud, but clearer. A slight shift, like something adjusting its position directly under him. His chest tightened harder because now it wasn't random. It wasn't distant. It was exactly where it shouldn't be. And in that moment, something became undeniable. Ignoring it didn't make it go away, or it just gave it time to get closer. He opened his eyes, slowly. My chest tightens when I think about it, because once you decide to check, there's no going back. Ethan turned his head slightly, just enough to look toward the edge of the bed, not under it, not yet, just the side. The darkness there felt different, deeper, like it wasn't just the absence of light, like it had weight. He stayed still, watching, waiting. Nothing moved, nothing visible, just that same quiet, that same pressure. He swallowed, dry. Then, very slowly, he shifted closer to the edge, just a few centimeters, enough to see more, enough to risk it. His chest tightened harder, because now he was close enough to check, close enough to confirm or regret it. And in that moment, something became undeniable. He didn't need to look under the bed yet. Something under the bed already knew he was there. He leaned a little further, careful, controlled. My chest tightens when I think about it, because that's the exact point where curiosity wins. Ethan lowered his head slightly, just enough to see the darkness beneath the bed. At first, nothing. Just shadows, still, empty. Then, a shift. Fast, subtle, but real. Something moved, not toward him, away. His chest tightened instantly, because that's worse, much worse. If it moved toward him, he could react, he could pull back, he could escape. But it didn't. It retreated, like it knew he was looking, like it didn't want to be seen yet. He froze, completely. Because now, this wasn't imagination. This wasn't sound. This was something reacting to him. And in that moment, something became undeniable. He wasn't the only one aware. Something under the bed was aware of him too. He didn't move. He didn't pull back. My chest tightens when I think about it. Because once you see movement, you expect it to stop, to hide, to disappear. But it didn't. The darkness under the bed shifted again. Slower this time, more deliberate, like it wasn't hiding anymore, like it was approaching. Ethan's chest tightened harder, because now it wasn't reacting, it was choosing. And then something appeared, not fully, just a shape, a hand, pale, too still, too controlled, reaching out from under the bed, but not toward him, not yet. It stopped, halfway, waiting, like it was giving him time to react, time to move, time to decide. His breath caught, because that's worse than sudden movement. Waiting means intention. Waiting means awareness. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't trying to scare him. It was trying to see what he would do next. He moved, fast, instinct. My chest tightens when I think about it, because sometimes your body reacts before you can think. Ethan pulled his head back, away from the edge, back into the bed, back into what felt safer. His heart was racing now, loud, uncontrolled. He stared at the ceiling, trying to breathe, trying to reset, trying to pretend it didn't happen. But that's impossible, because once you see something like that, you can't unsee it. Then a sound right below him, closer than before, not shifting, not hiding, something tapping, slow, measured, directly under the mattress. His chest tightened violently, because now it wasn't under the bed. It was touching the bed, touching him, not physically, but close enough. And in that moment, something became undeniable. Pulling away didn't create distance. It just brought it closer to him. He stopped breathing for a second, completely. My chest tightens when I think about it, because now distance doesn't exist anymore. The tapping continued, slow, precise, not random, not searching, intentional. Ethan shifted slightly, just a small movement, barely noticeable, and the tapping stopped instantly. Then it moved, following him, exactly under the mattress, matching his position. His chest tightened violently, because that's not guessing, that's tracking. He moved again, just a little, testing it, and again. It followed, perfectly, same distance, same timing. Directly beneath him, like something underneath the bed, knew exactly where he was at all times. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't need to see him. It already knew where he was. He didn't move anymore. Couldn't. My chest tightens when I think about it, because once something locks onto you, movement just confirms it. The tapping stopped completely. No sound, no movement, just silence, heavy, unnatural. Ethan lay there, frozen, waiting. I'm hoping it was over, hoping it stopped. And then pressure, subtle, barely there, but real. The mattress shifted just slightly from underneath. His chest tightened violently, because now it wasn't just tracking him. It was touching the space he was in. Not the bed, not the floor, the exact spot where he was lying. The surface beneath him rose, just a little, like something underneath was pushing up, trying to reach him. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't need to come out from under the bed. It was already right beneath him. It didn't happen once. That would be easier to explain. My chest tightens when I think about it, because when something repeats, it stops being a mistake. Lena went to bed like any other night. Same room, same bed, same routine. She didn't think about it, didn't expect anything, because nothing had happened before, at least not to her. The room was quiet, calm, normal. She turned off the light, closed her eyes, and for a while, everything felt fine, until that feeling, subtle, familiar, like something was wrong, not in the room, under. Her chest tightened slightly because instinct recognizes patterns, even when your mind doesn't. She stayed still, listening, waiting. Then a sound, soft, from beneath the bed. And in that moment, something became undeniable. This wasn't random. This had happened before, just not to her. She didn't move. Not immediately. My chest tightens when I think about it, because sometimes you don't need sound. You feel it. Lena lay still, eyes open in the dark, listening. But the room stayed quiet. No movement, no noise, nothing she could point to. And that's what made it worse, because the feeling didn't match reality. It grew, slowly, like pressure, under the bed, directly beneath her. She pulled the blanket tighter, covering herself, like that could block it, like that could make it stop. But it didn't. The feeling got stronger, closer, like something wasn't just under the bed, but directly under her. Her chest tightened harder, because now she wasn't imagining a sound. She was sensing something real. And in that moment, something became undeniable, even without hearing it. She knew something was right beneath her. She held her breath, completely. My chest tightens when I think about it, because the moment you feel something, you wait for proof, for confirmation, for it to stop. But it didn't. The mattress shifted just slightly, barely enough to notice, unless you were already afraid. Lena froze, because that wasn't imagination. That wasn't a sound. That was contact from underneath. Her chest tightened instantly, because beds don't move on their own. Not like that. Not from below. Then it happened again. Stronger this time. A small push upward, directly under her back, like something was testing the space, measuring, understanding. She gripped the blanket tighter, trying not to react, trying not to move, because movement felt like an invitation. And in that moment, Something became undeniable. Whatever was under the bed had already reached the bed itself. She stayed still, trying not to react. My chest tightens when I think about it, because sometimes stillness feels like control. Like if you don't move, it won't notice you. But it already had. The mattress shifted again. This time, not upward, down, just slightly. Barely enough to register until it happened again. A slow, steady pull from underneath. Her chest tightened violently because now it wasn't just touching the bed, it was affecting it, changing it. She felt herself sink. Not much, just a fraction, but enough. Enough to know something was happening, something intentional. Her hands tightened around the blanket, trying to anchor herself, trying to stay in place. But the pull continued, slow, measured, consistent. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't just under the bed anymore. It was trying to pull her down. She grabbed the edge of the mattress, hard. My chest tightens when I think about it, because this is the moment people fight back. Lena dug her fingers into the fabric, holding on, trying to stop it, trying to stay where she was. But the pull didn't stop. It didn't rush. It didn't jerk. It just continued, slow, relentless. Her body shifted slightly, just enough to feel it, enough to know she wasn't imagining it. Her chest tightened harder because force didn't work. Resistance didn't change anything. It wasn't reacting to her. It wasn't adjusting. It was just happening. She tried to push upward with her legs, with her arms, anything to counter it. But it didn't matter because the movement wasn't physical, not entirely. It felt deeper, like something wasn't just pulling her body, but her position in space. And in that moment, something became undeniable. She wasn't losing balance. She was losing control over where she existed. She stopped fighting, just for a second. My chest tightens when I think about it, because sometimes you pause to understand, to figure out what's really happening. The pull didn't stop, but something felt different, not stronger, deeper. Lena focused, not on her body, on the sensation, on where it was coming from. And that's when she realized it wasn't just under her. It wasn't just the bed. The pull wasn't vertical. It wasn't down. It was inward, like something beneath the bed. It wasn't space. It wasn't floor. It was something else entirely. Her chest tightened violently because now this wasn't physical. This wasn't something she could resist with strength. This was something affecting her position in a way she couldn't understand. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't trying to pull her under the bed. It was trying to pull her somewhere else. She shouldn't have looked, but she did. My chest tightens when I think about it, because once you try to understand it, you give it exactly what it wants. Lena forced herself to turn just enough, just a little, to look over the edge of the bed. The darkness below wasn't normal, not empty, not still. It had depth, too much, like it didn't end where it should. Her chest tightened instantly because the floor wasn't there, not clearly, not completely. It looked farther, wrong, like space under the bed, went deeper than the room allowed. Then something moved, not toward her, not away, just inside that depth, slow, controlled, watching, her breath caught. Because now, this wasn't imagination. This wasn't fear. This was something real. And in that moment, something became undeniable. There wasn't just something under the bed. There was somewhere under it. She tried to pull back, desperate. My chest tightens when I think about it. Because now, she understood too much. Her grip tightened on the mattress, fingers slipping, losing hold. The pull changed, not slow anymore, not measured, stronger, sudden, like it realized she had seen it, like it didn't need to wait anymore. Her body shifted downward, more this time, enough to feel it clearly, enough to panic. Her chest tightened violently, because now, this wasn't subtle. This was force. Her legs pressed against the bed, trying to push up, trying to stay. But it didn't matter. Because whatever was below wasn't bound by the same rules. Her position slipped, inches, then more. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't testing her anymore. It was taking her. She couldn't hold it anymore. My chest tightens when I think about it. Because sometimes it's not a choice. Her fingers slipped, one by one, losing grip, losing control. The pull didn't stop, didn't slow, didn't hesitate. Lena felt the edge of the bed move past her, slowly, inevitably. Her chest tightened violently, because now there was nothing between her and it. No barrier, no resistance, just space. That wrong, endless space under the bed. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. Her body shifted again, lower, closer. And then she stopped fighting, not because she wanted to, because she couldn't anymore. And in that moment, something became undeniable. She didn't fall. She was taken. The room was quiet again, still, normal. My chest tightens when I think about it, because nothing looked different. The bed was there, the blanket, the pillow, everything exactly where it should be, except her. There was no sign she had been there. No movement, no sound, no trace, just empty space. A kind of stillness that doesn't explain anything, doesn't confirm anything, doesn't prove anything, and that's what makes it worse. Because if something disappears, there should be something left behind. But there wasn't. The room stayed silent, unchanged, like nothing had happened, like it had already reset. And in that moment, something became undeniable. Whatever is under the bed doesn't leave evidence. No. He heard the story, didn't believe it. My chest tightens when I think about it, because disbelief feels safe, comfortable, like logic protects you. Marcus laughed it off. Something under the bed, people disappearing. It sounded ridiculous, childish, impossible. The room was normal, clean, nothing strange, nothing out of place. He lay down, phone in hand, scrolling, relaxed, unbothered, because nothing had ever happened to him. Not before, not ever. And that's what made it easier. Easier to ignore, easier to dismiss, easier to sleep. He turned off the light, closed his eyes, let the silence settle. And for a while, everything was fine until a thought, simple, uninvited. What if I just check? His chest tightened slightly, because that's how it starts. Not with fear, with curiosity. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't need to scare him. It just needed him to look. He didn't move right away. My chest tightens when I think about it, because hesitation feels like control, like you're still deciding. Marcus lay there, eyes open in the dark, staring at the ceiling, trying to ignore the thought, trying to let it pass. But it didn't. It stayed, persistent, simple. Just check. That's all. No fear, no pressure, just curiosity. He shifted slightly, closer to the edge of the bed, without thinking, without deciding. His chest tightened a little more because now he was already moving, already acting, already following it. He stopped, tried to stay still, tried to break it, but the thought didn't go away. It didn't need to, because he had already responded. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't make him look. It made him want to look. He leaned forward, slowly. My chest tightens when I think about it, because this is the point of no return. Marcus moved to the edge, careful, controlled, like that would change anything. He lowered his head, just enough, just to see. At first, nothing, just darkness, still, empty, exactly what you expect. His chest loosened slightly, relief, instant, because that's what you want, confirmation, proof that it's nothing. He started to pull back, ready to lie down again, and ready to forget it. Then he noticed something. Not movement, not sound. Position. Something in the darkness was exactly where it shouldn't be. Centered, aligned, waiting. His chest tightened instantly, because now it wasn't empty anymore. And in that moment, something became undeniable. The space under the bed wasn't empty. It was occupied. He didn't move, couldn't. My chest tightens when I think about it, because once you see it, you realize it was never hidden. The darkness under the bed didn't shift, didn't react. It stayed perfectly still. And that's what made it worse, because something inside it was aligned with him. Exact height, exact position, as if it had been waiting there for his face to reach that point. Then, eyes, not glowing, not dramatic, just there, open, looking directly at him. His chest tightened violently because there was no delay, no surprise, no reaction. It didn't notice him. It was already looking at him. And in that moment, something became undeniable. He didn't find it. He matched the position it was already waiting for. He pulled back slightly. Instinct. My chest tightens when I think about it, because movement should break it, change it, force a reaction, but it didn't. The eyes stayed exactly where they were. Same position, same angle, same distance, like they weren't attached to motion, like they were fixed to that exact point in space. Marcus shifted again, further this time, trying to create distance, trying to break eye contact. But the position didn't change. The eyes didn't follow. They didn't need to, because they were still aligned with him, perfectly. No matter how he moved, his chest tightened harder, because now it wasn't reacting. It wasn't tracking. It was already set. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't need to move. He was the one moving into it. He stood up, fast, heart racing. My chest tightens when I think about it, because leaving should end it. Distance should fix it. Marcus stepped back from the bed, looking down, trying trying to see it from a different angle, trying to break whatever was happening. But it didn't change. The space under the bed still held that exact point, that same alignment, that same presence. He moved to the side, different angle, different position, still there, perfectly aligned. His chest tightened violently, because now it wasn't about the bed, it wasn't about the space, it was about him. Wherever he stood, that position existed, waiting, fixed, unchanging. And in that moment, something became undeniable. He couldn't step away from it, because it wasn't attached to the bed, it was attached to him. He backed away further, breathing uneven. My chest tightens when I think about it, because now it's not about escape. It's about understanding. Marcus looked around the room, trying to find something normal, something stable, something real. But the bed felt wrong now. Not dangerous, not active, just connected. Like it was never the source, just the first place he noticed it. He looked back down, carefully, slowly, and again. That same point, that same presence, that same alignment, waiting, not moving, not reacting, just existing, like it always had, like it was always part of the space. He just hadn't looked before. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't appear when he checked. It had always been there. He froze, completely. My chest tightens when I think about it, because realization hits harder than fear. This wasn't random. This wasn't chance. This wasn't something that happened tonight. It was something that needed one thing: attention. That's all. Not movement, not sound, just a look. The moment he checked, the moment he aligned himself, the moment he gave it focus, it became real. Not stronger, not closer, just active. Marcus swallowed slowly, because now it wasn't chasing him. It didn't need to. It had already reached him, without moving, without reacting, without doing anything at all. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't waiting under the bed. It was waiting for him to look. He turned away, fast. My chest tightens when I think about it, because once you see something like that, you don't want confirmation. You want distance. Marcus stepped away from the bed, toward the door, toward light, toward anything normal. But the feeling didn't leave. It stayed, subtle, constant. He stopped, slowly turned his head, not fully, just enough. And there it was, not under the bed, not in the same place, but the same position, the same alignment, the same presence, shifted with him. His chest tightened violently, because now it wasn't location-based. It wasn't tied to space. It was tied to perspective, to where he looked, to where he existed. And in that moment, something became undeniable. He didn't leave it behind. It came with him. He moved to the hallway, fast. My chest tightens when I think about it, because distance should help, but it didn't. The house looked the same, walls, floor, nothing unusual, but the feeling stayed. Marcus looked down, carefully, slowly, and there it was again. Not under a bed, not under furniture, just a point in space, aligned, waiting. He stepped forward, and it adjusted, not moving, but existing, exactly where he was about to look, every time, perfectly. His chest tightened harder, because now there was no place without it, no angle without it, no position where it didn't exist. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It wasn't under the bed. It was wherever he chose to look. He closed his eyes, tight. My chest tightens when I think about it, because sometimes not looking feels like control. Marcus stood there, breathing slowly, and trying to shut it out, trying to disconnect. But the urge came back, stronger, more focused. Look again. Not fear, not panic, just a pull, a need. Because now it wasn't just there, it was part of the process, part of how he experienced space. He opened his eyes just a little, and instantly it was there, perfectly aligned, waiting. His chest tightened violently, because now it wasn't just passive, it needed him, needed the connection, needed the look. And in that moment, something became undeniable. It didn't chase him, it pulled him into seeing it. The scariest part isn't what's under your bed, it's why you feel the need to check. My chest tightens when I think about it, because fear doesn't always push you away. Sometimes it pulls you closer. It doesn't force you. It suggests. It waits until curiosity feels stronger than caution, until checking feels harmless, natural, necessary. And that's when it works, not when it appears, but when you look for it. Because the moment you do, the moment you align with it, the moment you give it attention, it becomes part of your reality, not something separate, not something external, something that exists because you chose to see it. And in that moment, something becomes undeniable. There isn't something under your bed. There's something waiting for you to look under it.